My name is Gerhard Mannsberger. I'm Director General of the Forestry Department in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Environment and Water Management in Vienna.
Now, this week we've been talking about the success of cooperation in Europe. There's looking at this UFGIS portal, which is a great success, and you've launched it here today. But there are big challenges in having a unified approach in Europe on forests on bigger issues. I mean, do you think we are making progress in having a pan-European forest policy in place?
I think we are on a very good way. We have this working group working on the base draft to negotiate in Oslo in June 2011. We will finish our work at the end of this year. We are right in time. The mood is very good. There are, of course, some countries who have critical questions, and it's our task to find the right answers in order to go forward. As I see it from the discussions I had with different representatives of almost all the countries, and also representatives of the Commission in Brussels, I don't see any country or the Commission who does oppose as such. There are some points that have to be discussed even more intensively, but I think this is necessary in order to have a good instrument, and we will take the time we need for this, and I'm pretty sure that in Oslo there will be a decision on a clear mandate for negotiation on a legally binding instrument. And I hope that there will also be a decision on the timetable, and we would like to see that in 2013 it should be finished. And I think this would be enough time.
A legally binding instrument that's relevant to alpine forests and to cork oak forests on the Mediterranean. I mean, from a non-specialist observer might think there's very different demands for those different things.
There are, of course, very different demands. But as we saw in this process, we have so far this ministerial conference on the protection of forests in Europe. There are common topics, common problems, and also common solutions, and we have already defined them in these different resolutions during the conferences. So I think we already identified the common topics, the common problems, and also the answers. It would not be possible to have all the details in this instrument, so it should be rather a kind of a frame,
an envelope,
like the Climate Change Convention, which is also a frame, and then every single member state has to define the ways and the specific problem they have by themselves.
Do you think, though, that in European politics forestry is high enough up the agenda? I mean, looking at big issues of macroeconomic problems, you know, if you're a bureaucrat in Brussels, where does forestry sit in your in-tray?
Forestry itself and directly is not very high of the agenda, but indirectly it is. Because if you think on the discussions of climate change, bioenergy, biomass, material coming from reproductive activities. So looking at those big issues a little bit more closely, forests actually are always on the top. The problem is that many politicians do not identify it the way it should. And also the foresters do not enough talk about this and tell the decision makers and the politicians and the public what is the contribution of the forest sector to all these very crucial topics and challenges.
Yeah. Just finally, I mean, in Austria is famous for its forest cover and its forest industries. What is the state of forestry in Austria? Is it healthy, good?
We are kind of satisfied. We will get the new data in 1 or 2 months from our inventory system. As we see the area increases, the differentiation between just a spruce stand and stands with also broadleaves is getting better. The health is getting better. So I think we are kind of satisfied, although there are some regions and some specific problems that have to be solved in the future.
So if you were Director General of Forests in 50 years' time, you'd still have something to be Director General of?
Oh yeah, there is enough work, because Austria relies very much on the multifunctional side of forest management. For instance, protection of natural hazard. So this is a very, very big topic in Austria. Considering climate change, it will be even more and more important. So in 50 years, there is still enough work for a Director General of Forestry.